heartbreak and crying and all those things. They just can't do anything wrong, can they?
I mean, can we talk about Adele? This is not a person who releases an album every year or every other year. Her last one was 5 years ago. So when she drops something, she's taken a lot of time on it, and you know you're going to love it. The ramp up, just the emotional preparation we all have to do. We're all like buying our tissues and things. But then she's got this amazing audience on TV, an audience with Adele. And she's the first artist this year to have sold 1 million albums, actually, the first one of this year, which is really remarkable since it just came out in November. And of course, now she has a Vegas residency where she's going to arguably make as much money as she's going to make from the album itself this
crazy.
year.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You're the biggest Taylor fan, but Will.
I think in this year, what is amazing is to get a 10-minute version of a song that she wrote years ago, and to get that something that we'd all been waiting for. If you're a Swiftie, like I admittedly am.
Absolutely, it was wild. Taylor put out so much music this year, capping the year with the re-release of Taylor's version of All Too Well, the 10-minute version. You know, Taylor is known for throwing Easter eggs all over her lyrics, pointing all over the place to who the song's about and how they did her dirty. And, you know, I'm like Dionne Warwick. I want to know when that scarf is getting returned.
Exactly. All right, that's a good one. Okay, now let's talk about some moments that really did just kind of shock us, move us. First one, Simone Biles pulling out of competition at the Olympics. Just walk us through kind of what kind of effect that had.
Well, this is a first, really. I mean, I think the world, the U.S. in particular, had hugely high expectations for Simone Biles, and no one felt those expectations more than her. And this was the first time we really saw someone poised to win it all, step back and say, I need to do something for myself. Despite all that you want from me right now, I can't live up to that. I'm going to do what's right for me. And she's the most decorated Olympic female medalist there is. So she winning Athlete of the Year from Time Magazine is really a credit to being the best at what you do, but also knowing when you need to be the best at taking care of yourself.
Absolutely, and such an important moment to discuss the importance of mental health, which also comes into the next question that I have for you, Brianne. This interview with Harry and Meghan and Oprah, and just what it exposed they had been going through. I mean, really, I think the ripple effects of that and the conversation around it cannot be overstated. Tell me about what you thought about that.
No, it really, they opened up about their mental health. Meghan spoke about even contemplating suicide at one point while she was still living in London. They opened up about having babies and dropped some real bombs about the royal family and how the royal family had treated them.
And people, it shows that they were still very fascinated by the royals, because 17 million people watched that Oprah interview, showing so whether you love them, hate them, or fascinated by them, people are really into that story and want to know more. And this is the first time we really got a look kind of behind the curtain of what's going on there.
Not polished by
It was wild.
And another story that just got so much attention is Britney Spears. She was in that conservatorship for more than 10 years, finally freed from it. Starts with the New York Times documentary, step by step. It gets to where she is now. I mean, this is a huge moment, isn't it?
13 years in the making. Can you imagine? She spent her entire 30s kind of being ruled by these adults who may or may not have been taking advantage of her, taking her money. It's all still coming out, and now we get to see what being an adult looks like for Britney Spears. She has said she has no intention of touring again, but will she put out music? She is engaged, so maybe 2022 will bring us a wedding for Britney Spears, and hopefully it'll all just be happy, good, smooth sailing for her.
There's also one we've gotten to now see behind the curtain with her actually being able to post what she wants on her social media.
And the power of the fans. The fans really drove this movement. I mean, they refused to believe that it was all that we saw on Instagram and Facebook, and they were very vocal about it. And then the power of a documentary to show and get people to pay attention. And we've